Have you ever wondered how you can make money through your passion? In this case, I'm going to be talking about sports management. And in sports management, there's various aspects which I can tell you. So please just stick around, just give me a bit of a time. In sports management, it involves a combination of someone who's educated, someone who's practical enough, someone who's able to network, someone who's a people's person, who's hands-on, and you're just able to get here and there someone who's connected if you are to have a successful career in sports management. You need to be educated in the specific field which you want to pursue. You need to have at least practical experience, which is getting internships, working in entry level jobs, being a volunteer in different sporting organization. You need to develop transferable skills. You need to enhance your skills in project management, data analyst, digital marketing. All these things, they can become handy in the long run when you are pursuing your career in sports management. Networking also, you need to know people, you need to be connected, you need to be around, you need to know what's happening for you to be successful. You also need to be informed of the latest things, latest news, latest trends. You need to know the game. You need to be aware of what's happening around you for you to be a successful person. As you know, sports management has got a different career path. I'm going to give you a brief background of careers which you can take in sports management. Just give me a bit of a time. Let me try to assist you where I can. As you all know, me, I'm also a sportsman. So I believe if you can try to look for money through something which you are passionate about, the results are just success, because you won't treat it as a job. You treat it as part of your life. So let me start. There's the administration side. If you want to be an administrator in sports, in the sports field, you can be an administrator in teams, organizations, schools, even in government. You can be part of administration there. The responsibility overseeing operations, budgeting, human resources. You need to know also the regulations which are needed in the field which you would have taken. The skills, you need to be a leader. You need to know financial articles. You need to know anything which has to do with finance. You need also to be able to know the law, well equipped with the law of the land. As you know, there's different laws which govern different countries. So it's something which you need to be aware of. You want to be a successful sport administrator. Number two, you can be also into sports marketing and sports sponsorship. The role, you can be marketing a sports team, marketing a certain individual, marketing an organization, even the government in the sporting department. The responsibilities, you need to be able to market. You need to know all the marketing concept. And in marketing also, it involves someone who's affluent, who's able to talk, who's a people's person, for you to be a good marketer. This one is not only specific to sports only, but marketing anywhere. You need to be someone who's able to talk, who's able to sell, for you to be part of a marketer. You need to be creative. You need to be able to communicate, like what I've said before. You can be employed in different organizations if you're a sports marketer, be it the team which you are working for, be it organizations, CAF, FIFA, Olympic Committee, government, a lot. It just depends where you choose, but you need to be qualified to know this job. Number 3, event management. Event management, it says it all. You need to be able to manage events. There's a lot of events which has to do for a match to happen. It's actually an event. For a tournament to happen, it's actually an event. So you need to be, if you are keen to be an event manager, you need to be able to organize a big crowd. You need to be able to be hands-on. You need to be someone who can think on your feet. How can you coordinate different departments? The logistics, the vendors, people come and sell, different sponsors, different branding, the players, different egos. You need to be able to coordinate this thing. You need to be able to run around. So in other words, you need also to be a mobile person. This one, you can be employed in any department which has to do with sports, even if you are not in sports. But in this case, we're talking about sport. You can do the event management. Also, number 4, data specialist or data analyst. You need to have studied something which has to do with the data. There's a lot of things which are now involved. Like now, for example, in soccer, there's a lot of data which goes through in the games. People study how you walk, how you run, how you pass, what you eat, who you talk to, how many times were you injured, all sort of things. There's a lot of things which go into these players, be it athletes, be it organization. We're now a data-driven nation. We've come to the edge of dealing with data. We are no longer guessing. So if you are able to study something which has to do with the data, you've got a high chance of getting a nice job, a nice lucrative job, which can help you in the sports management industry. If you're a data analysis, you're able to coordinate also in events. How did it work there? How can I make it work? Or how I can improve? There's a lot which goes to data analysis. I'm just giving you a brief breakdown of careers which you can take in sports management. You can also be employed in different organizations, like which I have given you before: school, sports team, sports organization, even the government. You can be employed in all those organizations. Number 5, you can be a sports agent. Sports agent. In this case, let me give you an example of football sports agents. For you to be an agent is someone who represents the athletes or the player, or you represent a certain organization. You are in the in-between. You are just like almost like a union, the representative, or like a lawyer in a way. If I'm a player, I want to come to your team, you talk to my agent. My agent is like my manager in a way. For example, if we go to soccer, which is my particular field, we've got people like Uncle George Mendes. We've got Mino Raiola, one of the best agents to ever lived on this earth, but may his soul rest in peace. We've got Jonathan Bennett. We've got Triple M sports agents. We've got Africa Po agents. These are examples of agencies or examples of players who are agents. You need to be knowledgeable in the game. You need to know people around you. You need to know how to negotiate. If people want to buy your player, you need to know how to negotiate with the buying team. You need to know how to negotiate with the selling team. Whether it's increasing or it's reducing the fee, you need to also know how to negotiate on your behalf, because sometimes you get commission. That's how you play it. If a player is sold for 100 million, maybe your commission is 15%, so you automatically get 15 million. This one is a good thing. When the player is going for negotiation, you are going with the player. So you are also able to travel. There's a lot which is involved into football agents. If you are a young person watching this, I urge you I'll urge you to try this field. It's actually an interesting one to be a football agent, but there's exams involved. If it's soccer, FIFA, you need to write exams to qualify for you to be a football agent. But it's quite a fascinating field, quite a fascinating thing to do. Number 6, you can also be a sports facility manager or sports venue manager. In this one, you should be able to manage the venue, be it a stadium. Now we've seen the birth of big stadiums. It's no longer a stadium, it's now a lifestyle. We've got things like the Bernabeu. It's not only Bernabeu, the one for Real Madrid. We've got the Tottenham Stadium, which is in England. It's not only specific for soccer. You can do other events. There's complexes, there's sports. It's a whole value chain. So you need, if you are a manager of that facility, it's like maybe you are a mayor of a small town in a way. You need to coordinate all these things. When it's time for soccer, you need to manage the time. You need to have a big team working around you. It's actually a good thing. If you've done, if that one, you need to be qualified in the event management department for you to coordinate all those things. So imagine the same field, they play football, you play rugby, you play tennis, there's shopping malls, there's a lot of things which are involved. So you need to be on top of your game to be able to manage these things. This is actually another good thing. If you are someone who's eager to explore, who's able to run around, you can also do that. Number 7, that's now for corporate. For those who want to be big people, you can be into sports management. And in sports management, I can just give you small careers. You are actually managing the whole thing. You're actually involved, you are in the director role, you're actually the bosses. So you need to be a leader, you need to be educated, you need to have experience, you need to be a people's person, you are able to talk, you are able to market. There's a lot of things which are involved. Let me give an example of soccer. Soccer, we've got like the CEOs. Let's say my team, Manchester United. Our current CEO is Omar Berada, who's in charge of the football side and the financial side. His job is to mix the two, to make money for the team and also to make sure the team is competitive in the football and the field of play. We also have got people like the sports director. He's the one who's solely in charge of the sport department of a certain team. In my case, I'm talking about soccer. In Manchester United, we had people like Dan Ashworth. He was the football director. With people like Richard Arnold, he was also the football director. You are in charge of the football operations of the team. So you need to be knowledgeable of what happens. You need to be a business person combined with someone with football knowledge. We also have got what we call a technical director, who's in charge of the technicalities. He's the one who's directly above the coaches. He's the one who's directly above the managers. He's the one who designs the game model of the team. If you are saying you're going to play high passing football, you're going to be running in such a style, if it's rugby, whatever, you know the strategies you use. The football technical director is the one who's in charge of this, to design how do you play from senior team to the junior team, both male and female teams. So you also need to have knowledge of the game, preferably someone who have played the game before or someone who have studied the game, you're qualified in coaching and things like that. It's actually a good job also. We can have like commissioner of certain leagues. There's match commissioner bit, the referees, the one who's overall in charge of everything, the administrative, the rules, regulations, things like that. People who are in charge of organizations like big organization, Olympic Committee, being on the Ministry of Sport, organizations like FIFA for football, the International Football Federation Association, CAF, which is for Africa. You can also be someone who's in charge. But for you to be in charge of those things, you need to know your thing. You need to be experienced. You need to have knowledge of what you are doing. It's not something for beginners. You can start, if you're a young person, you can work your way up to these type of positions. It's not something wherein you can just wake up today and you say you are the Secretary General or the President of FIFA. It's something you need to work your way up. And also, the other career which you can think of is media. In media, you can be in journalism, whatever. There's a lot of things which can happen in media, but I can just give you a small narrative of what to expect. It's a career in the sports industry of journalism, broadcasting, be it print and television media. Key positions which you can expect. We've got like a sports journalist who are in print media. We've got also journalists who are on the television. Your job is to narrate, is to tell people what, like fans like us, what's happening, the latest news, the latest trend. Even during the match, you're also someone who's supposed to be commenting what you are seeing, what you are expecting, what you like or what you don't like. Basically, your job is to inform the world of what's happening. You are the link between the team or whether the organization and the fans. So you need to be on top of your game. You need to be someone who would have studied journalism. You need to be someone who would have experience in journalism. I can give you an example of like in the print media. We've got people like Rob Davies for The Guardian. We've got people like Harry Winter for The Times. These are seasoned journalists, editors of big newspapers in UK. That's an example. If we go maybe to sports broadcasting, people who you see on TV, I've got examples of legendary broadcasters. If you like, people like, if you go to South Africa, we've got Robson Marawa, we've got Thomas Mlambo, we've got people like, if you go to Zimbabwe, there's people like Charles Mabika. You go to England, you've got Peter Dury. I'm sure these names, they are known everywhere. These are big names in the sport industry. So if you want to be part of these things, you need to study your journalism. You need to study media. You need to be qualified. It's not a job where you can just wake up today and say, I'm going to do it. Or you can start as an entry point and you work your way up in television channels or in newspaper, any media which you can think of. You can also have a you can also have a career in content creation. That is people like me. We've got big content creators like Mark Goldberg for the United States. We've got United people. I'm just giving an example in soccer. Because this is a Manchester United channel. But when the team is not playing, my duty is try to motivate someone. Because everyone wants to make money. So my duty is to try to help each other. How can we make money if you are not already making money? And the money is never enough. You can also have a career in law. Law, you can be a lawyer. You can study specifically law in sports. So you can be like a football lawyer. We've got examples. This one I don't need to explain. Examples of Jean-Louis Dupont. Those are big lawyers in sport. We have also Nick DiMarco. Those are big lawyers in sport. You can be also a compliance officer, someone who works for certain organization, be it CAF, be it FIFA, be it PSL, anything you can think of. Someone who's in charge of seeing if the rules and regulations of those organizations are followed. Taking example of in South Africa and PSL, there's a guy called Zola Majola, who's like the compliance officer. He's a lawyer. He's the one who's in charge of seeing all these things, if the rules and regulations are done properly. Number 10, you can be also into health and fitness. You're ensuring that your athletes, your players, they are healthy and ready to go, both physically and mentally. You can be an athletes trainer also. You train the athletes to be in physical, in top notch. I can give an example. Manchester United, they've got a guy called Paulo Caudino, which is a fitness trainer for Manchester United. Their job is to develop the physical strength of the players. Recently, Say Brailsford got a champion for athletics. They want to condition the players to be athletes. Before you think of passing the ball, as a person, you need to be an athlete. So for you as a player to be able to do that, you need someone who's going to guide you. All these celebrities, they've got chefs, they've got personal trainers, people who are in charge of their nutrition. So you can also target that to be a personal trainer of a celebrity. Imagine you are the one in charge of the fitness and health of players like a Cristiano. It's just something. Maybe you're a fitness bunny, you are someone who likes fitness, someone who likes to eat healthy. So you can turn that into a career. Number 11, you can also be in the non-profit and community organizations. In Zimbabwe, we've got a team which we call Harmony Academy FC. It was started by a gentleman, a wonderful gentleman. His job was to take away kids from the street, kids who are always loitering, walking around. You come, you play soccer, he registered the team with all his money. There's nothing which is going on. I'm just using that as an example. There's nothing which is coming into the pocket of this gentleman, but it's just pure love that kids, they are doing bad things after school. If they are not well trained or they are not active, you know, when people, your idol, you're the devil's workshop, you always think of bad things. So it's something you can go into. If you're a person who's into social work, you can also go into this department. But you don't need to do this if you are someone who's looking for money. This is something which you can do as a passion. You can be a coordinator of these organizations which are non-profit. You can be the director of those certain organizations. It's something which you can go into. But this one, like what I said, is a non-profit organization. So you can be having sports, whatever type of sports which you can major into. That's all what I'm saying. Then the next point, we are into sports tourism and traveling. This role, as you know, teams, they go around. Your job is to market the team wherever they go. You are the one you want to make your team, and you remember these teams, they've got home venues. You want to make your venue or your country. You remember, you can be working for the sports department, you've been working for big organizations like FIFA. So you can make it as a tourism opportunity, as a tourism attraction. So for you to do this, you need to have studied things about tourism. You need to have well traveled. You need to know what you are talking about. I know there's people like, if we go to South Africa, there's a team called the Mamelodi Sundowns. There was this guy called Peter Ndlovu. Sorry about this. He was in charge of the marketing. For the traveling of the team. He's the one who goes to where they are staying. He's the one who checks if it's sharp, if it's what at airports and everything. He's the one who's in charge of facilitating all these projects to see if the movement and everything is there. In the process, you're also marketing the team. You're also marketing as a tourism destination. In this topic, you can be a sports tourism manager. You're marketing certain sports. In other countries, there is sports which are only found in certain countries. You don't find in certain countries. There are sports which you can find in certain areas. We're talking like maybe ice hockey. You only found it in America and things like that. American football, you only find it in America. Other countries are trying to do it. Cricket is only played by a few nations. Even football itself, you don't find it in other. So your job, you're in a country where you play a certain sport, and other nations, they don't play that specific sport. So your job is to make your sport like tourism, is to attract people to come to your certain country or to your certain organization as a form of tourism, to learn and watch what you do there. So it's actually something which is fascinating. But as always, you need to be educated, you need to know your story. With all these things, I was stammering a bit, but I've tried to help you. Hopefully this video will help someone. You've got many careers in sport. Imagine making money through something you love. Imagine making money through something you like. It's not about supporting the teams only. You can also benefit from supporting teams. You can also benefit through the beautiful game, whatever sport you major into. This is your United Uncle. If you liked what I'm saying, I've always tell you, forget about the lighting, forget about the quality of the video. What's important, am I saying something which can help you? Like and subscribe. Peace.